It's been over 6 months since Bar Harbor, and I haven't written much since then, at least nothing that's stuck. I can feel it with every day, every week, every month that creeps by. I can feel myself losing touch. I've been going through the motions of waking up, skipping breakfast, showing up to work 10 minutes late. My days blur by, and I feel less and less inspired with every night that goes by, having not written. Everything Amanda and I have worked towards the last 4 years is on these tapes. Everything. Everything on these tapes has cost us, and a few dozen other generous people, a collective effort of $35,000 and counting. These tapes almost cost Amanda and I our friendship. There were moments during the trip that I didn't think we'd make it, that far too much damage had been done to the project, to us. Damage we couldn't take back, damage we couldn't move past. Move past. Damage we couldn't move past. The days that followed Olivier and Jeff arriving were spent picking up last-minute equipment, consolidating supplies, preparing the van to accommodate 5 people. For the following 7 weeks, it would be our home. We picked up Olin from LAX on the 1st, and that night Jeff prepared an amazing going-away dinner. The following afternoon, we said our goodbyes to family and friends, and at 1:51 p.m. on June 2nd, I twittered that we were driving north on the 101. This day had taken Amanda and I over 4 years to reach. There was no turning back for us, and we both knew there would be no second chance. I wondered if it had ever dawned on the three of them as we drove north for 3 days, just how unbelievable it was to be leaving behind everything they knew, to spend the next 2 months of their lives filming and living out of a rental van for a person they never met. What kind of person does it take to so eagerly accept such risk, to put so much at stake? I thought often about the character it suggested in them, and I wondered if I could ever do something like that. Could I ever be so trusting, so open? It felt intimidating to admit that I didn't think that I could, which only seemed to add to my insecurities and accentuate my fears that I would fail and disappoint everyone who had believed in me. Larry and Jay took a flight from Reno to Seattle the morning of the 5th. It was the first time Amanda had met either of them, and it was only the second time that I had. It seemed so surreal to me, our parallel adventures, knowing that for the next 4,200 miles, we would be watching two best friends put themselves and each other through a kind of mental and physical hell that neither could fully understand in advance. And at the same time, knowing that Larry and Jay would be watching the five of us making a film for the first time. There was an understanding that everyone was nervous in their own way, that everyone didn't know how this would turn out, that the odds were stacked against all of us. That night we filmed what would be the first official shots of the project, watching the sun burn up the heavy clouds above the Pacific. Larry and Jay sat quietly on the shore, drinking a bottle of wine. Watching them, I remembered the anxiety I felt the night before my first trip. I remembered how impossible it was to fall asleep, how I felt on the verge of something exciting, something that would change who I was. I'd always felt the trip was a subtle experience, but I couldn't help but wonder from an outside perspective if I would see the changes they were going through, if they would be obvious to me. I was unusually confident that no matter how the project turned out, if it was a success or an utter failure, at least we could look back, as cliche as it sounded out loud, 10, 20 years from now, and know that we tried, that we set out to do something that we said we were going to do, when many probably never believed we really would. We put ourselves through the incredibly exhausting and stressful, uncomfortable and crushing experience of making a highly ambitious documentary. And at least we'd have these memories, both the good and the terrible. And at least at every blatantly obvious moment of defeat, we kept going. We kept trying after failing, time and time and time again. And for that, I believe we are stronger as individuals and as friends.